Welcome to the Coach's
Coach's
Lunchroom.
It's got to have that little lunchroom.
Hey, welcome. My name's Amanda Kaufman.
And I'm Chris Lavelle.
And you are watching our daily show.
Daily.
The Daily Show, where we come and hang out for, a little bit, like half an hour.
Yeah, something like that.
To talk about building your coaching business. And today we're talking about building you up through your morning routine.
Certainly our daily show is a routine of ours, but it's not a morning routine. It's just a lunchtime routine for us. But what about morning routine really kind of helps or not your day get started right?
Exactly. So I basically went back to my basics.
You hit the reset button.
I did.
And started over. That's not a bad thing. That's something to keep in mind, Coach. In your business, a lot of times you think, oh, I didn't do the thing. And then you stop and you walk away for weeks or months at a time. But you could just hit the reset button and start over.
So before like 2020 just turned into 2020.
Before 2020 became 2020.
Before it was like, oh.
When it was just 2020 as opposed to
Let me show
2020.
You. Hold my beer. Watch this. Before it did all that, I was on this kick to do a 5 a.m. wake up. So I'm curious. Oh, yeah. What time do you get up in the morning? What time do you get up, Chris?
I get up at 6:30 now.
6:30 now.
I used to get up a lot earlier back when I did CrossFit before the quarantine and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like BQ.
That's right.
Quarantine.
Before quarantine, yeah.
So, after all of that and with the stress of everything, I did not do the 5 a.m. thing. I really was like, nope.
Not gonna do it.
I need more sleep. I need more chocolate. I need like a lot more of just kind of some basic things to kind of get through the day. And I mean, if you've felt that, let me know. And we're just sharing right now. What time do you wake up in the morning? Because I read this book by Robin Sharma, who is a personal development person, totally worth following. He's Canadian, which is of course, good to know. But he wrote a book called The 5 a.m. Club. And so I was very inspired and motivated by this. And so I decided to give it a go. And
you started that before quarantine. In fact, I think you started it right at the beginning, just before, like a week before quarantine.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's Desiree. Hello.
You were about a week in, and then all of a sudden quarantine hit, and then that kind of turned everything a little sideways.
I was more than a week
Were you?
Oh my gosh, Chris, I've been doing it for...
I guess I've blanked that out.
Yeah, no, because I remember I went to Canada for a little family trip, and I was getting up really early then too.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I was getting up really early. There were a couple of trips where I was doing like the 5 a.m. thing. So I want to say I was doing it for at least a couple of months.
I've clearly blanked out the pain.
Well, I didn't bother you.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I wouldn't do that.
So why are you doing it,
Desiree wakes up at 4 a.m. Go,
there you go.
You.
Hey, Desiree. Nice
awesome.
To see you. Nice to see you.
Awesome.
So why were you getting up at 5? How did this benefit you? What was the point of doing a 5 a.m. start?
Well, I'm an introvert. We don't keep that a huge secret. And I do all of the writing and creative for our business. So, a lot of copywriting and things like that. So I have in the past had the tendency to sometimes get up like early so I could do the writing and
you'd get to work straight away.
And then I'd be in work mode, and it was like pretty terrible. So the other thing, I was also inspired not just by the 5 a.m. Club book, but also like Rachel Hollis gets up at like ridiculous o'clock. Yep. And, like every big magnet I can think of gets up at, oh my God, that's stupid.
Kind of early.
Yeah, lots of them get up really, really early.
Early bird gets the worm, right?
Yeah, because the early bird gets the worm. So for me personally, this was actually a really huge thing is I took a big step back and I said, what is it about my day that I feel like is missing, and I'm putting it in my morning routine. So things like being able to take the time to meditate, or take the time to properly journal, or take the time to like have some tea and not have everybody be like up my elbows.
There you go.
Doing things. And just kind of create, and also like take 30 minutes for movement. So those were kind of the big things that you want to do them every day, but it can be really hard to find the time to do it. But I tell you what, if you get up at 5, You will always have time.
The house is pretty quiet at 5 a.m.
Yep.
I'm asleep, the kids are asleep, things
Yep.
like that are available. That's an option. That's certainly something that I used to do. Remember back in a day, back when I was in the corporate world, I would get up about 5:30, and I would go have breakfast, get all dressed, and then I'd be out the door and on the way to the gym in the morning by 6:30 or so.
Yeah, I know. You were a total nerd about the gym. So
I was,
you
yeah.
get up for it, right?
And that was something I did not just a week or two. I literally did that for years and years and years. Now, obviously, with quarantine, I've changed that a little bit.
Exactly.
But that was certainly part of my routine. Now,
I just have to moderate a comment here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Go ahead. Keep
Oh,
going.
that's fine. So while that's certainly something that Amanda is doing in that case, for me, I had a different routine and still have a little bit of a different routine now that we've got kids in quarantine, doing school from home, remotely, things like that now instead of in the classroom. So for me, my routine in the morning looks a little bit different. And so for my case, while Amanda's doing her morning routine, my morning routine is get up and do a little bit of key nurture, some of my BAMs. We've talked about the BAM being the bare ass minimum that you do consistently and frequently in your coaching business to help move it forward in a way that's going to serve you and those you want to serve. Well, for me, there's some things that I like to do every day, 7 days a week now, pretty regularly. I've been doing that for a couple of months now. And that's something that I want to start with every single day. And so I make sure and do that first thing. So I've got a win on the board already in the day. And then, of course, I go start waking kids up. We get breakfast going. We come down and have a family breakfast together. And then people move on to their various tasks from there. Amanda going back to working on some things in the business. Me going back to getting remote school starting for the kids and then working with her back and forth on some business things like today. And so that's how my morning routine goes. And that's what serves me well right now, subject to change, of course, and my changing needs or desires. Now, what prompted you to want to restart this routine, Amanda, when it wasn't quite going the way you wanted it to go?
Well, I think the thing is that it's really easy to default to old habits. Old habits absolutely die hard. And I used to be a night owl. And I used to stay up like really, really late, and I would usually be working, truth be told, but even just like watching movies and all of that kind of thing. Are you reading the comments?
Yeah, I was trying to see that comment.
Yeah, so we were just dealing with some spammers, but
and it's out of there now, right?
Yeah, I just
see there you go.
It. That's what I was doing when I was like, take the wheel, Chris.
There you go. So again, my question to you, in case you didn't hear that, was what caused you to want to reshift back to your 5 a.m. start, your morning routine?
I caught myself. I was like checking Facebook a lot, and I was checking Instagram a lot, and then I was checking my inbox a lot, and I found myself in this loop of like check. Does that ever happen to you guys? Drop loop if that's ever happened to you, or you just find yourself like checking across all the different platforms.
Yep.
And thank goodness my conscious mind was like, hi.
Oh, wait a minute.
What the hell are you doing? Like, what? Like, why are you doing this? And so I had a little time to really reflect on it. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm not tolerating boredom well.
Oh, okay. So you're filling things.
And I was filling some kind of a void or something.
Okay.
And I really believe that you should be living your life to the absolute fullest. Like, I think it's our duty and responsibility as much as also just realizing life is short, man.
Absolutely. You don't get
tomorrow.
You don't get yesterday
guaranteed.
over. It's gone.
Exactly. So boredom, like I hate boredom. Boredom, it's
you don't do well with boredom.
Nobody does well with boredom. That's why we're all addicted to our devices and everything, right?
That's right.
So
we look for distraction then.
So I realized, I was like, those morning routines, this here's my high performance planner, not paid to tell you about it, but
something you really enjoy.
Something I really enjoy. So I followed Brendan Burchard for 5 years now or something like that.
Something like that.
It's been a minute. And he came out with this high performance planner, and he does do a lot of really good things. This is my favorite thing he's ever done.
Every time you flash that blue up there, it adjusts the color filter and makes this orange. Like, put it down for a minute. See? It overpowers the camera filter.
That's really funny. But what I love about it is that it really gives you a chance to think about your mindset in the morning and think about what's really important to you, and just sort of like get those ducks in a row without anything pinging at you.
So it's a habit you start your day with to plan for the rest of your day.
Exactly. But like the 5 a.m., what I love about the 5 a.m. thing is that it lets you just putter through. Like, I woke up this morning, I had time to meditate. I had time to journal. I
Mm.
had time to have tea. I maybe forgot to set the alarm today. So
She
not
started
gonna
like 15
lie,
minutes late.
I was late to the party, but it still was such a better way to start my day because I knew exactly where I was headed with it. So I'm curious, like, do you have a really strong morning routine?
Mm.
And if you do, I'd love to know, like, what's your favorite feature? Like, what's the best thing about your morning
There you
routine?
go.
If you don't, do you want one? I'm curious.
Ooh,
Yeah. Do you
yeah.
want a morning routine like
So
that?
first, do you have one? If so, what's your favorite part about your morning routine? And if you don't, do you want one?
Yeah, exactly. How about you, Chris? Like, I know you do have a routine. Like, do you love it? Do you think it's serving you?
I think my routine has served me during the quarantine relatively well. I think there definitely are some things I want to change about it. And so we can talk more about how we make that work together. Because when you're in a married couple or a spouse or whatever, if you're with
You were
someone.
inspired today. I'm gonna go ahead and call that out.
Oh,
'Cause
was I?
Yeah, because I came back and you were like, I want to go for a walk. You need to find a
I
way to
was.
make that happen.
I was
You were
kinda,
inspired.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you
I was
were.
like, I want to have some time like that. But I did say, let's talk about that later. Because obviously it was your routine starting out, and I had plenty of stuff to already do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does necessitate a little bit of planning. And of course, what I was going to say is maybe when you're in a relationship or you have a significant other, it's probably a good idea to coordinate your morning habits so that each of you are getting a little bit of what you need.
Well, and that's another good reason for 5 a.m.
Mm.
is like if you commit to having that time, like pretty much nobody's gonna bug you.
That's right.
You know, like if you're ever complaining that you don't have time to meditate, you don't have time to do the journal, you don't have time to exercise, like nobody argues with you at
That's right.
5 and 6 in the morning. Like
That's right.
they're never going to.
They're not going to argue. Yeah.
You know, even my kids don't get up that early. So yeah, and it was a really good start to the day. I am admittedly tired today because it was my first day getting up like that early because I had gotten way out of the habit of it.
Well, and you've got to get back in the habit of going to sleep earlier because just because you're taking from one end doesn't mean you don't need to move up the other end. Otherwise, you wind up getting less sleep, which doesn't help you that much.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so funny because we were talking about re-implementing a morning routine, and Chris was like, "When are you going to start?" And I started to do that thing. Do you ever do that thing where
Yep.
you go to make the commitment and you're like, it's sometime
maybe
in the
next
future.
week, or yeah, maybe a couple of days.
And he's like,
maybe I'll ease into it, she said.
Is there a functional reason why you're waiting on it? Or...
I asked her that. I coached her. I said, so why? Why aren't you starting tomorrow, for example?
And I was like, you know what? You're right. Let's just rip the damn Band-Aid off.
That's
Let's
right.
go. Let's just figure it out. So
that's right.
I'm a little tired today, but I also had a chance to meditate. I also had a chance to journal. I also like this morning, I basically got all of my build stuff done for the day. Everything else is in reaction. Yeah. Everything else is like I'm coaching or I'm doing something, you know, in response to what other people are doing. Well, that's cool.
That's a bit of advice you actually got from one of your mentors is, look, put your doing where you have to do something early in the day before others get in and kind of take control of it away. And that way, to your point, the afternoon is more the reaction stuff where others are coming with their agenda and they need your attention for it. But you've got your doing stuff already done before anybody else was awake asking for your time and attention.
Well, and so I'm going to tell you what I was working on in a second here, but Desiree says, yes, I have a routine, but it's to go to my outside job. So yes, I want to change it more to benefit for my business.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's
you're already getting up at 4:00, Desiree. So you may have to get creative for what's going to work for you. And I think that's something for everybody to keep in mind. I mean,
absolutely.
When I was, I remember, this is so silly, but like looking back, at the time it didn't feel silly. I remember when Braxton was little, like our very youngest one. And like little, like newborn little. And I would get on my own self about not having a strong morning routine. And it's
because you didn't control it.
And I look back on that now and I'm like, yeah, you didn't control it, Amanda. You had like nothing. You were just there, and that's all you have to do. And like that's not forever as a parent. That's you know, for the first few months or so. But I remember feeling bad about not having the routine, but the routine was pretty much set, you know, kind of for me by the little guy for a few months there, and that's okay, right? You know, it's not about perfection. But
that's a key thing right there for everybody, Desiree, etc. It's not about perfection.
No, it's
the
not.
routine that you can do now may look very different from the routine that you aspire to, but it's a start. It's a BAM. You can BAM your morning routine.
That
Do the,
stands for bare ass minimum.
that's
if you're
right.
new.
There you go. Bare ass minimum. Do the BAM that you can do to get started. See what you can do regularly. And you know what? If you find that, oh, it's a BAM too far, you can't keep up with that minimum, well, then reduce the minimum. Lower the expectations for yourself until you can consistently and frequently show up for your morning routine.
I think one of the things that's helping me a lot with re-implementing it, because we only really talked about it yesterday, was
I like how you move quickly, though.
Yeah, took action on it quickly.
I
Thanks
like
for the
that
coaching.
I supported you in that.
Thanks for the coaching. But I already envisioned like the parts that were going to be difficult. So like I knew that I was going to find lots of excuses for why I shouldn't do it. So I laid my clothes out the night before.
I saw that. Yeah, right? I saw that.
I knew that I was probably going to feel pretty tired by around now because, you know, I've already been up for 7 hours or 8 hours or something like that today. So it's just so important to have grace as you go through that change. I knew I would be tired, but I also had this conversation with myself, which was like, yeah, but if you get that habit going again, you also know, because I did do it for a couple of months. After the first 2 weeks of being like early again and early to bed and early to rise, your body readjusts.
It does. It finds a happy
medium. Give yourself the opportunity to feel the discomfort. Just, you know, and deal with it without having to like, you know, give up and quit. And I think comfort has been one reason why I've quit on it in the past, if I'm being totally honest. It's that I wasn't totally honest with myself about how hard it was going to be to have my energy kind of deplete. And I also know this. I know I'm going to do some energizing stuff midday. And that's going to that's going to get me my second win. Like this does actually energize me.
Oh, absolutely.
I've got a really great call that's coming up in a couple of minutes as well. So, you know, those things are going to energize me. I've got another thing planned this afternoon that's going to energize me. That's going to help me kind of get through the rest of the day. But I also I chose a week. I did not choose a week where I had like a big live event to attend to.
So you're not making a dramatic change
or I'm
when you need
a
your
new
energy
program or something that was like really intense. I was like, this was kind of a normal week.
Well, you had some flexibility so that you could kind of ebb and flow a bit as your energy did. And I think that was wise. So can I point out something you did there that might be useful for the others to understand?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So great. Notice she took some reflective time when she was thinking about this to think through, what are the risks or challenges to this new routine or this new habit or this new action I want to implement? Now, some people think, oh, well, you're already defeating yourself. You're thinking down about it. No.
No. I'm just trying to be realistic.
She didn't say, oh, it's going to stop me. She thought, and this actually comes from one of her mentors, what are the things that are going to get in the way that if I thought about ahead of time, I could have a solution for?
That's actually one of the questions in
and that's why I thought of it. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm gonna
absolutely.
Read it out after.
And so specifically, she's not thinking in a defeatist way. Oh, these other things are going to stop me. She's thinking, what are the challenges that are going to come up so that I can already think of a solution that I can take and put in place so that it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Like getting the clothes out the night before that you mentioned.
Exactly. Okay. So I did this really cheesy thing, you guys, that I totally recommend. You should totally do this. So I went to my work folders because, you know, I'm very passionate about getting this business out in front of people and everything. And I've got all my marketing projects and my program projects and like all these projects. And I was like, I'm going to put a me project in there.
Oh,
so I put a high priority folder in my system and it's like me. And there's one document in there, and it's just my morning routine.
Oh, I love that morning routine you did. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's actually it's right there. It's a piece of paper right there.
There you go. You want me to pull it out?
Yeah, if you don't mind pulling it out. Okay, so check it out, you guys. I made this like 5 a.m. Wake up routine, which is disappearing on Instagram. There we
go. Sorry, Insta.
Sorry, Instagram. But it's this 5 a.m. Wake up routine, and I wrote like a lovely letter to myself, and it was like this morning when it was really hard. I read my letter that I wrote to myself. This is cheesy, y'all, but I gotta tell you, it really works.
It works. It's like a love message to yourself from yourself. Hey, here's why you're doing it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like a lovely little love message, and then I put 9 bullets of the things that I wanted to make sure happened in my morning routine. Now, I didn't so in the past I've gone through and I've been like 10 minutes for this and 5 minutes for that and 2 minutes for this. Like I've gone
Very
to that
prescriptive. Yeah.
very, very prescriptive. This time when I went to kind of reset, I was like, you know what? It's more important to me that it happens.
Ah.
And for the things that need to have a certain amount of time for me to feel like it's good, I put time expectations on those, duration
okay.
kind of expectations. But I didn't put like a really hard,
Like must happen at this time.
Yeah.
5:15. I would be doing this.
That was really smart, it turned out, because this morning I did sleep in a little bit.
Forgot to set the alarm.
Degrees of perfection, am I right?
That's right.
We're gonna fix that tonight.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's not about being perfect, it's about perfecting.
But because I had what my 9 were, then it allowed me the flexibility in the spots where I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get like 5 minutes for this, but at least I'm doing it.
There you go.
Right. So
there you go. You got the next
really
action
powerful.
going.
Yeah.
And I know I see Elizabeth there is talking about our BAM earlier. She says my BAM is self-care. And it's a tip she's doing tomorrow in her own challenge. Way to use that BAM of ours and put it into action for yourself.
I love it.
Go have a good time in your challenge with it. That's fantastic, Elizabeth. I love that you're doing your own
awesome.
challenge.
Hi, Melissa. We're talking about the value of your morning routine and some reasons and how and like why getting back into it. And you know what's really funny is like last year I did a lot of travel for high performance kind of events and
well, you're certified
seminars
high performance coach, so
yeah, exactly. So it was like going to all these events, and every time I would go to the high performance event I would be like, I can't go to the high performance event and then not do high performance things while I'm at the event. and it's so funny because I kind of busted myself on that thinking over the weekend. I was like, I need to be a lot more into that aspect of high performance, particularly around energy and making sure that I'm like doing the things to create the energy that I need to be able to get through my weeks in a way that's exciting.
Create your own energy. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, I have a call that I need to prepare for.
Gosh, yes.
Tomorrow is Talkie Tuesday. It's Table Talkie Tuesday.
Talkie Tuesday, that's right.
Yes. So do be sure to join us tomorrow because we're going to be getting to know you and sharing some fun little table talkie questions. And I mentioned there's a little project that I've been working on, and that is unfolding in the Coaches Plaza, which is our free Facebook group. We would love to see you.
Send on that.
Yeah, there you go. Obviously, my energy. Yeah, I'm gonna do some like air squats here in a second.
There you go.
But do come join us in the Coaches Plaza. That's our free group. We've got some exciting stuff coming.
Oh yeah,
real soon.
I think some more changes in that group to help it serve you even better, coaches. It's a nice little community we've created, a totally free community where we just kind of help you along in your journey a little bit. We give you some insight. We've got some great features there to help you make progress in your coaching biz. So we'd love to have you come join us.
Exactly. So until then, we'll see you tomorrow.
All best, coaches.
Bye. Mwah.